Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Fab. So let's see. Does it say no viewers yet? One share. Is that you?
One share. No, I haven't shared anything.
Oh, one viewer.
I can share it. Oh no.
4 people are watching. That's nice. 5.
Hello, 4 people.
Hello, 5 people.
Hello, 5 people. Give us your comments. And
6 viewers. Can somebody just pop in there that you can see and hear us all right? Ten people. Fantastic. $11. Hello, 11 people. This is great.
A good start. Hello, everybody.
Really good start.
Oh, 4 comments. Hello.
So,
hello.
David Meadows, hi. Hi, ladies. Hello, Suzanne from Germany. Hello, David Meadows. Yes, and yes, so that means that you can hear us all right. Good. Excellent. Hi, Olga.
Hi, Jonathan Fitzpatrick. And Olga, I can't say your second name. Olga, hello. I think that's Olga in Poland. Hello there. Hello, yes. Hello, hi, Olga. Hello, Paul Waring. How are you all? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Do you want to do the thing with the link, Heather?
Yeah, we were wondering today, we'll keep mentioning it throughout the chat, if anybody actually wants to, we mentioned in our, possibly our first live chat, didn't we? We haven't done a chat via Zoom since, but we wondered if you wanted to actually join us on the Zoom call and feature in this live chat, which will be forever committed to Facebook and YouTube after the chat. Then we can drop the link into the chat here and you can join us at any time. I'm going to drop it in there now. No particular rules, just be nice and wear clothes.
Yeah, yeah, please. There we go.
David Jekyll. Hello, David Jekyll. How are you? How is Andrea? So, who's got a story to share? Or what questions do you have for us? We have one question from Wuthering James. Should we start with Angie? There's a question from Wuthering James who asks us if we once played at the Oxenhope Social Club as Odin Dragonfly. And the answer is no, we did not. So the alternative that you suggested was it may have been a band called Odin's Hammer. So it must have been a thrash metal band and not us. I was impressed that their street team were out flyering lampposts in Oxenhope.
Yeah.
Hello, Mark Cotton. Bring them on camera. Oh, how do we do that then? Oh, hello, bring them on camera.
Click on the, well, you can, or you can click. We can't do that because we're screen sharing the Zoom chat. But if they want to come on, then yeah, click on the Zoom link in the in the
Facebook. It's trying to bring them on to the Facebook camera.
Yeah, we're
not
on that
sure.
one.
We can't do that because we can't do it via Facebook because we're monitoring Facebook from a different screen. So,
but click on the Zoom link that Heather posted there and join us.
If anybody wants to join, when it goes bing bong, we'll let you in. One other, hello Steve Armitage. One other question we had was from Andrew Green, and he mentioned how we arrived at our name again, which is a very popular question. And did we answer this in a live chat?
We have Thorgeir in the waiting room. Shall we let him up for a chat?
Who's here?
Thorgeir
Lawrence. Hello. Yes, bring him on in.
Let's invite him up.
Iceland, I do believe.
There we go.
Hi, Thor.
How exciting.
Hope I can hear you live in Germany Sunday. Yes, we hope so too, Suzanne. That would be lovely.
Come on up, Suzanne. And
have we played as Odin Dragonfly in
here as well? Phil Atwell.
Hello.
So you should be able to switch your videos on. Participants are allowed to start their video if you want to.
Hi Thor, how are you doing?
Oh, okay.
What's the weather like in Iceland?
At the moment it's cold, about 0, and been raining today. But
nice. A very Nordic looking Icelandic jumper you have on there.
Yeah, it's getting a bit old though.
Oh, I like it. Hello Phil.
Hi Phil.
Hi, you're right.
Yes, really good, thank you. Happy New Year to everybody. Who else fancies joining us? Hello, Sharon. Sharon and Kevin in chilly Peterborough.
Excellent.
Anybody else like to join us in the Zoom chat? If you'd like to bring us your questions. So, unfortunately, Andrew and I have been a little bit under the weather over Christmas. So the prizes that we sent, hello Herman Parmentier, they've only just been sent out this week, and we're just waiting on one that needs to be signed, which I believe is Andrew Green's t-shirt. I've signed it, but we just need to get it to Angie, but she's been isolating over Christmas, so we haven't done that yet. Hello Brian Taylor. Hello, Bob Foster. Who else is going to come on camera with us? It'd be lovely to see some more of you. Always feels a bit one-sided. We know you're there because of the chat. So Andrew Green was asking us how we came about our name, Odin Dragonfly. And I think it was mentioned recently in a lovely Arthur Chaklovsky, in an interview, in a review that he made of Sirens, and basically it was an anagram, and it didn't take us very long. We just put Findlay and Gordon. I don't even know if we tore up the letters and put them in a hat, or we just looked at it and scribbled on a piece of paper. I think you were busy entertaining and cooking for us, and I remember sitting at your dining room table, Angie, and probably been rehearsing as well, and you were in the kitchen when I finally went, bizarre, what about this?
And then we kind of reverse engineered it to when we found out that the dragonfly was Odin's muse, and Odin's considered the god of song as well as many other things, and the dragonfly was his muse after his daughter Freya brought it to him when he lost his song in a particular Norse legend. So we kind of reverse engineered its appropriateness to what we were trying to do, bringing the song. So it fitted really nice. I think we came up with a few rude ones in the process. There's but I think we settled on that then. Who have we got
Jerry
here?
Z. Who is Jerry Z?
Z?
Hello.
Hello, Jerry Z. How are you doing?
Excellent.
Cool.
There.
Where are you joining us from, Jerry Z?
Vermont in the USA.
Fantastic.
Vermont.
How
Oh,
lovely.
fantastic. Hello.
Brilliant.
So we're in America, UK, and Iceland right now. Good to see you.
This is great.
Hello, Clive. Can't believe you didn't go with my suggestion of "Oh Fiddly Organ." Yes, this is true. We didn't. Hello, Paul Flood. Yeah, there were quite a few even more. Well, there were quite a few rude ones that we used to have pasted on our dressing room door.
Yeah, not
Various tour managers have treated us to over the years.
Yeah.
So come on, guys, we need your questions. Who wants to fire a question at us?
Hang on, my dog is taken over again.
Hello, Jerry's dog.
Brilliant.
So Thor in Reykjavik.
Yes, my dear.
Do you have a question for us, Thor?
Well, basically, I'm still waiting to get the Siren CD.
No,
Really?
It hasn't arrived yet.
Oh, that's a shame.
You know,
God knows where it is.
yeah, I was talking with one of my boys about this at dinner time this evening, and they were surprised that the release date is actually on the 21st of January. And he couldn't understand why, because all the CDs had like been in the house and shipped out. And it's like, I thought you'd already released it. I said, well, that was the pre-orders. And then I thought, actually, there's quite a big time lapse really between when we first started shipping them on sort of 9th, something like that. Was it, Angie?
Something like that.
Or maybe we were signing them on the 9th. I said, no, I'm pretty sure we started shipping them like on the 6th. But we knew the people overseas would probably not be getting their CDs until sort of January, especially with the December shipping. But yeah, I would have hoped by now it'd have reached you. I did actually hear from some people in Holland earlier this week, or it was at the weekend, asking where their CD might be. And then they had letters from the customs people saying that they had them. And Mark Cotter, yeah, hopefully, Thor, it will be with you really soon. But
yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
You said drop us a line if you're still waiting.
Yeah,
I really don't know what to expect, because this is the first time we've shipped post Brexit, and you know, obviously in the pandemic, a bit of experience with that last year.
But did everything go out by post or by courier?
They all went via Royal Mail.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
In which case, I'll probably get a message from the customs people too.
Yeah, I think that's the way it seems to be going now with Europe. But drop us an email if it doesn't arrive in the next couple of days.
Will do.
I'll look into it tomorrow anyway. I can take a look.
Thank you, darling. Yeah.
Welcome. You're welcome.
And then I'm going to Reykjavik in February, so I could take it over if it doesn't arrive.
Oh, thank you for that, Phil. That's fantastic. Thank you very much.
What are you going to Reykjavik for, Phil?
5-day holiday.
Oh, nice.
2.5 years. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Excellent. Mark Cotton is asking, Sirens is a great album. When are we likely to see you playing it live? Well, if you can get yourself to York, and if fingers crossed everything goes to plan over the next few weeks, we have a show actually on our release day, opening for One Iota. Is that right, Angie?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
That's Adam Dawson's band One Iota at the Roundtree Theatre. And, you know, like I say, it's all scheduled to happen. And if the theatre stays open, and if Angie and I are fitting well and everything, then, you know, that's certainly something that's on the schedule at the moment. But in terms of the touring aspect, again, I think we're just going to have to watch and wait.
Yeah.
Because everything's just a little bit too unpredictable at the minute. but we'd love to. You know, it's this is actually probably our first live chat since most people watching maybe have had their album delivered. Sorry to wind anybody up that's still waiting on the album or that bought it on vinyl. We have to wait a little bit longer for those.
Yeah.
But does anybody have any questions now you've heard Sirens, or any comments or anything? Anybody want to know anything about how the songs came together? There's quite a few of you there dropping messages in. Everybody's very, very quiet in January.
Yeah.
Angie.
Yeah. So have we had any more questions in advance?
No, not this time. In fact, we have, because of Christmas and everything, we haven't actually asked people to deliver us any questions this time.
Right.
But if you do have any questions for us, people, please drop them in the comments below.
Okay, well, I'll ask you a question then, Heather.
Okay.
So, Sirens related question. So, tell us something about the artwork. It looks a bit coastal, some of the photos, and some of them look like they might be in ruins. So, I think, or certainly some of the images that have come out around the album release. What's going on there then?
Okay, well, lovely Howard Rankin, our very talented friend and photographer, was kind enough to come up during the sessions, and we drove out to the coast, North Yorkshire coast, to Flamborough, where we wanted to find a lighthouse, because Angie had this vision for the song Come Right To Me, that it was actually playing from inside a ruined lighthouse, and you know, we even sort of envisaged the footsteps walking up the steps of the lighthouse, and then it was playing, and somebody was like tuning in the radio and then tuning the song out at the end, you know, retuning the radio after the song, and so we knew there was a lighthouse up on the coast there at Flamborough that Howard wanted to photograph.
Where was that lighthouse? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. Please do interrupt. The Flamborough Head.
Flamborough Head, yeah. We started out, I think the
Flamborough.
actual coastal one, was that not Whitby? Just down from Whitby at the...
Oh, okay. So
what was that? What was the... Oh, the big...
You found...
Hornblower Cottage, that's right.
Hornblower Cottage or Hornblower Cafe.
Yeah,
that was a random
like
find,
that.
wasn't it? We went there first, and that was our across the sea image, looking out to sea.
Yeah.
And then we drove up to Flamborough for the beachy picture.
Yeah.
Which, was that actually, have we published that picture yet?
I think it's been used on something, hasn't it?
Oh, I think it's used in the vinyl sleeve. Now, you haven't seen that yet, people.
Nice.
It's like a beachy shot from Flamborough Head. So you're probably all thinking, what are you talking about, lighthouse?
Yeah.
I don't even think the lighthouse features in the end. Oh, there is one, like a broken down lighthouse in the artwork. And I think that's in Come Right To Me, isn't it? Yeah. And where else? Oh, we began the day before taking pictures in New York. So we went to the museum gardens, and there's a beautiful old ruined abbey near the Yorkshire Museum in the museum gardens in York, and that really kind of relates to Across the Sea. Did you want to say something about the bell tolling in Across the Sea? And
yeah, sure.
For that. Hello, Craig Clark.
So there's a bell tolling coming out of the dimming into Across the Sea, and it returns as well, doesn't it? On the, is it the start of the second side?
For vinyl listeners.
And yeah, so
Beneath
halfway
Your
through,
Armour.
it comes back sort of halfway through. It's just, yeah.
Beneath Your Armour.
Yeah. And that bell is it's an idea from Marion Zimmer Bradley's The Mists of Avalon, which as a sort of, you know, romantic teenager, I was obsessed with that book, completely obsessed with that. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I came across it because the Mission had some of Wayne Hussey's lyrics were inspired by it in the Mission, and I read that in an interview and read the book and passed it around all my friends, and it was just, yeah, amazing. Then there was a film made of it with some famous actresses playing the lead roles there. But the idea for Across the Sea was basically the idea that you have this this journey, and in the Mists of Avalon, in the old days, you travel through the mists and you get to Avalon, and the priestesses are there, and it's the old religion and all the goings on. And then in as time passes and Christianity comes and invades and takes over, you're trying to get to the Isle of Avalon, but you're going through the mists. But instead, you hear this bell, and then you realise that actually you're arriving at the Holy Isle, as people think of it, of you know, sort of Glastonbury Tor, and where there are Christian monks and a new world order, really. Basically, the old ways passing on and struggling to get to the old ways, and the new ways now have taken over, and it's more of a struggle to get back to where you were. And so that's the idea of the song. For anyone that's sort of had a chance to have a listen to that and absorb that, it's really, you know, somewhere that you've been and it meant something, and then you went back there and it was really different. And I've kind of put a sort of romantic twist on that. Sorry about the scratching, that's my dog's paws on the floor there. And the romantic twist on that is that you were here with someone, and because you've gone back there and that someone's not there, you know, in the Mists of Avalon, it's a religion, a way of life that's no longer there, and so the place is different. And in the song, it's that manifests as a person in a relationship, and you go back to a place some years later, some months later, or whatever, and that place doesn't feel like the same place because you're not there with the person that you were there with originally. Long way around of saying that. And so, and the hearing of that bell makes you realise that I'm not going to the place that I was once at. I'm going somewhere new. This is different now, and you know, you can sort of interpret that in many ways. So yeah, that's kind of what that comes about. And so that, although it's a very old song, I started working on that back in '97 when we first moved to York, and didn't really do anything with it. And it kicked around at the time of offerings, and we didn't do anything with it then. And as Sirens developed, we talked about this in the last live chat, out of an idea of a cover song that we were going to put on the idea of Sirens and the nautical element, and the idea of travel and renewal, and you know, all the things that we've talked about already, and suddenly Across the Sea fitted with that theme really well. So we sort of blew off the dust off an old song, and it ended up being right there at the beginning of the album.
Yeah, love it. And I love the way that Beneath Your Armour kind of talks about that settling down and going within, and that sort of duality of like going within and then being out there, and sort of, you know, differentiating between the two, and sort of like settling into your soul and like being in the world. And I like the idea of bringing the bell back into the intro of Beneath Your Armour for that reason as well. So yeah, beautiful. Thanks, MG.
No worries. And also, just on a more I was just going to put that little link as well there. Also, on a more sort of practical level, I love me an acoustic guitar solo, I think it's just one of the nicest things. And I'm constantly surrounded by acoustic guitarists, and they rarely solo. They accompany both me and each other, and there's just something I really like about it. And so when it came to the instrumental break, you know, there's a million things we could have done on there. Heather could have played a low whistle solo, I could have done a flute solo, or, you know, I toyed with the idea of something on the mandolin at one point, which is my new baby. You can see my little mandolin up there. But actually, it was like, no, I need Heather to play just that, you know, couple of touches style acoustic solo, and soloing is not something Heather's done loads of, so it was a real put each other outside our comfort zones type challenge, and it's beautiful. I'm sure if anyone's heard that, they will agree with me. It's a real beautiful little few bars of acoustic solo there.
It would have been the source of much leg pulling had it been in Western Austin. In fact, it would never have happened. But I had scribbled on my song sheet for Across the Sea the key that the solo would need to be, and I was like hoping that Angie might forget about that at some point until it actually came to committing to the song.
Oh no.
I was like, so what are you going to put some, like, you're going to do a flute solo? No, you're going to do a guitar solo. So anyway, yeah, my famous one-string solo. But it does what's required.
It absolutely does. It's beautiful. Yes, put words in the chat to describe how lovely you think Heather's guitar solo on Across the Sea is. So we've had some more questions. We've got a question in here. How did you get the rowing through water sound?
That's a really interesting question. The rowing through water sound was sourced with the help of my eldest son, Harlan, and he just knows literally everything about where anything can be sourced, and all technicalities, which is how he ends up in the credits on Under album for helping them with some crazy sound that they needed for something. And he directed me to a website, and I wish I could remember the name of the website. But basically, it's a website where creators of sound, there's a name for this. Sorry, there's some...
That's all right. I'm just going to mute our guests until they unmute themselves. There we go. There we go.
Oh, I thought it was...
If you want to say something, you can probably unmute yourself, but just while we've got that background noise,
where it was coming from.
Yeah. These kids, they're just brilliant at finding stuff on the internet, aren't they? Harlan's superpower.
Sound designers. It's a website where sound designers deliver their sound creations, and there are just basically in the search box anything you're looking for, and you know, on there we found our oars rowing through water.
The seagulls weren't from there, were they? They were our engineer.
Our engineer Nick Bryan designed the seagull sounds, and he actually sort of repitched them as well, didn't he?
So they move with the melody, don't they?
Yeah, really beautiful. So that there are 3 different sound designers credited, but yeah, I particularly like that one, and it was chosen because it's stereo, and you can when you listen to the album on headphones, you can hear the oars going left and right. So we wanted people to feel like they were in that boat with us, like it was the Sirens were sailing along the waterway. So yeah, thank you. That was a great question.
Yeah. That was good. That was Sharon. Thanks, Sharon.
Sharon Blackmore.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I'm gonna get.
All right, no problem.
But lovely meeting you. Looking forward to the music, and have a nice day.
Brilliant.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Jerry.
Take care.
Good to meet you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Back soon. Eddie Lasses, join us on the screen by clicking the Zoom link. Vinyl's becoming more popular. Are you a fan of this format? Yeah, big time. Yeah, we love it. That's why it was really important to us that, I mean, Heather already has her solo stuff on vinyl. Wild White Horses is a beautiful vinyl thing. I don't have it here, but yeah, I have my record player on my desk. Current listening is the Snow Patrol album, which is good. I just put the Christmas music back up on the shelf. That had been Katie Mellor's Christmas album, Tori Amos's Christmas EP, and Thijs van Leer, his beautiful one from the 70s, which has got him and a beautiful chamber orchestra playing arrangements of Christmas carols on. So yeah, we're big fans of vinyl. So yeah, it's going to be beautiful as well. You've seen the pictures of that and in the press stuff. It's going to be unique and really beautiful.
It is. That's what's so nice about it, when you use the blue splash design. Like every single vinyl LP is unique, so nobody else has one like yours. And I was just thinking that Angie, you might want to share your hello, Jan Eaton. Nice
Hello,
to
Jan.
see you. See your name at least. Join us in the chat if you wish. Anybody that wants to join us in the chat is welcome
Click on
to.
click on the link.
Click on the link.
That's it. You want to join us in the chat, don't you? What's this? You want to join us in the chat? Can you say hello? Come on in. There we go. Can you see him? Oh.
Yeah, I do. Hello, Will.
He's going for a walk now, so we've got to let him go.
I wondered if you might want to share your Thijs van Leer story, Angie.
Oh, yeah. Okay, can you remember the year? I can't remember the year.
Where did you guys meet? That might help us. Was it
Input.
Did we support them?
Fibbers. Yeah. So Odin Dragonfly was supporting Focus. We've done it a couple of times actually. But this particular time, we were chatting at the end of the night, I think, and so Thijs van Leer said some really nice things about my playing, and said, "Do you are you busy tomorrow?" I was not if you're asking, you know, massive fan already, just like super privileged to have been able to support them. And I'm sat here hanging out after the gig, and this is lovely. But then also, you know, getting the opportunity to hang out. Yeah, and I was thinking he meant like for a coffee or something, talk about flute music and stuff. And he said, well, you know, I have a day off and we're in New York, and what I really like to do on a day off is go into a studio and record some music. I was like, so I thought that he meant, can you hook me up for that? To which, of course, the answer is, yeah, absolutely. I know the New York music sound engineers scene, and immediately got onto the venue guys and said, right, you know, who's got studio space and a day tomorrow where they can record Thijs van Leer? I don't know what's going on. Presumably he'll have his flute and the rest of it. Anyway, we chatted, we got it sorted, and he said, okay. And I said, right, well, let me write down the details for you. And he said, oh, don't worry about the details. I'll pick you up from here at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh, you want me to come with you? Oh, okay. No, that's fine. I'll show you where it is. That's fine. So, and I just genuinely thought it was going to be a show him where it is, leave him to it, introduce him to the engineer. Johnny Greatwood was the engineer, actually, brilliant engineer. And we got this studio that a couple of the guys that I think actually were in Fibbers for the show that night owned, and we got it all sorted out. And so I was like, yeah, sure, absolutely, we'll do that instead. I'll meet you at 10. I'll take you around there. It's not far from here. And so I arrived at 10 in the morning. I had my flute with me, so he must have said at some point, we'll do some playing. And I remember he had the tiniest car. It wasn't like a Reliant Robin, but it was like the equivalent. It was tiny. And I remember him like opening the door for me, and I sat in the car, and he walked around, and it was like Hagrid getting in a car with you. It was just brilliant. It was just huge, and this car was tiny, and there was like me clinging onto my flute thinking, thank goodness I don't play the cello, and just it was brilliant. And so we squeezed into this little car, and I directed him round to the Input Studios, and we went through and set it up. And so he asked for a keyboard to be set up. He didn't even get his flute out, and he asked for a keyboard to set up, and he started playing this just really cool jazz riff. And I was sat with him in the control room. I think I'd made us coffee, and he was like, okay, go on then, go and do your thing. And I was just like, oh, you know, I don't really know what's going on here. And I remember stumbling and being really nervous and like, oh, I don't really, this is like a bit outside my genre. This is a bit jazz, and and anyway, in the end, I can't remember how it came about. And then we ended up doing like a question and answer, like 7-minute jazz blues prog flute jam, which was brilliant. And then he, I think it was, I'm pretty sure you weren't allowed to smoke in the studio, but they weren't having any of that. And so the band had come down to hang out at that point, and everyone stood around in the studio, this non-smoking studio, just smoking and drinking really strong coffee. And then he said something about wanting me to sing a song. And I remember saying to him, oh no, I think you're mistaken. I'm not the singer. I'm the flute player. And he was like, no, I heard you singing. I want you to sing this song. And he'd got this song that he'd written for a partner, I think. And he wanted a piece of paper, and I particularly remember he couldn't find a piece of paper, so he went to the studio diary and flicked to like November and just tore a page out the studio diary and wrote these lyrics on it. And I just remember thinking, oh, it's okay, it's Thijs van Leer, it's okay, I'll buy them a new diary and I'll pop it in later, it's fine, it's all right. And I still have them in the CD cover. And he wrote these lyrics down, and I went in and sang the song. And yeah, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And then Johnny burnt off a couple of CDs for us, and we went our separate ways. And since then, we've come crossed paths at festivals loads and stuff. And I know that he does that. You know, I've spoken to other people that he's done that sort of, just like get creative and meet people and just get on with it, and just like have no barriers to you creating and do what you love to do on your day off. And he's done that with other people, and we've talked about it. And I don't know if he remembers that it was Angela from Mostly Autumn when he's seen me backstage at a festival I've been playing at, or you know, if he remembers it at all, or the songs that we sang or whatever. But yeah, it was amazing. And I still have it on an old iPod, an old, like, you know, dial iPod that no one can remember how to use anymore because you keep trying to touch the screen. But yeah, I really definitely must like get that off there before it actually dies, and keep hold of that.
Yeah. And do you still have the CD?
I think I do somewhere. Yeah,
I remember here it was like kind of really jazzy.
It was really jazzy, bluesy,
yeah.
just
Nice.
like electric piano. It was on my MySpace for a while. I don't even know if my MySpace still exists. I ought to look that up. And I know it's on my iPod, my offline iPod. But yeah, he was just so focused on the creative process and no ego, and not really interested in making small talk. I remember not sort of saying anything about anything. And
Sarah Lily joining us, I do believe.
That's nice.
This is a really great story, Mark Cotton. Yeah, I'm glad. The song on your MySpace was Just Like Eddie.
Yeah.
David Meadows
is
saying
still there?
he would pay any amount of money for that CD. Find that CD. I would love to hear that CD.
Is it still there? Focus recorded it on their next album, right? I love that you know that. Just Like Eddie, yeah. I had to sort of say a line in it, and I was really out of my comfort zone with the vocals. But yeah, fancy that they recorded it for the next album. I should know that. I'm embarrassed that I didn't know that. Yeah, Just Like Eddie. And I had to sort of like, it was like la la la, and then, or something. And I was just like, oh, I don't know if that's right. But yeah, it was brilliant. It's a beautiful song. And he also went out later on, and then, the next trip they came, we did chat, and he did remember, and he went out and recorded the Minster Bells, and I know that they appeared on an album. It might be the same one, I don't know, David will no doubt tell me. But yeah, he was really into the Minster Bells. Hey, Sarah!
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Happy New Year, Sarah Lily.
Happy New Year.
Are you all right?
No. How's your mum? Has she been all shy? Oh, how lovely.
This is great.
Yeah, she's across the room.
You would get like a Muppet show, wouldn't it, if she had to just like pop her head in? Oh, nice. Oh, it's so nice. That was a real trip down memory lane hearing that story, Angie. Thank you. So was it mostly Autumn that had supported Focus?
No, me and you. We mostly Autumn have, but that night was me and you, because I remember distinctly saying to him, because he said, you know, I really like your voice, and I remember saying to him, oh, no, you've got me mistaken. The voice that you really like will be Heather's, you know, and I play the flute. And he was just like, no, I liked your voice. I want you to sing this song. And I think that was the first time I'd sort of thought of myself as somebody that I didn't at the time even think of myself as somebody that sings the lead song. I sing the backing vocals, and yeah, so it was me and you supporting Focus at
an affirming moment.
Yeah, and good memories. Really good memories. It was like something, you know, when you're in a film and they just know somebody who knows somebody that can pull that stuff together. I do remember thinking, if I can pull this off, this is going to be brilliant. You know, if I can arrange for him a studio and an engineer where he can walk out at the end of the day with a CD, and he'll just think, oh, York's brilliant. And so it was sort of like, I felt like I was ambassadoring for the little music community of York, in that, yes, we do this, we can make this happen in half an hour at 11:30 at night. You know, yes.
I like to, you know, when I remember things like that, it's like some of the things that we've been sharing in the sort of build-up campaign for Sirens, and you know, that acknowledging your powers of manifestation and talents as well, Angie, you know, remembering how all of the like the Blackmore's Night tour came together, and that was really all pulled together through contacts of Angie's, and Angie just happened to know the right people at the right moment, and then it all just fell into place, you know, and that wouldn't really have happened, and Mostly Autumn wouldn't have been, you know, propelled into that whole different territory had it not been for those like moments of just, you know, manifesting the right thing at the right time.
Right place, right time, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So your first on Blackmore's Night. Liverpool Philharmonic with Blackmore's Night.
Yeah. Were you there?
Yeah.
Hi, Jan. Yeah, that was an amazing tour. That I remember playing in that, and that I was trying to sort of explain to Brian and Heather, this is the Liverpool Philharmonic Hall. This is the home of the Philharmonic Orchestra. This is huge. This venue, you know, and what it represents is absolutely ridiculous, you know. And we're going to get up there, the three of us, and do our thing. It was, I remember I just wandered around in complete state of bewilderment during that tour. The opportunities that we were given and the things we were able to do was just incredible. It was amazing. Hi, Jan. Hello.
Okay.
Unmute me. I failed with the text, so I've joined her.
Oh no, that's fair enough. That's all right. That's cool. It's good to see you.
Hello,
this is
ladies.
the first time we've done it like this.
We nearly had a Harlan making an appearance then, and it didn't quite happen. These days. How are you both?
All good. We're late because Sarah's been having a massage. I've been having a pedicure. So
nice.
Very nice.
Nice thing to do in January.
Yes, we thought we'd catch you. We were excited we managed to drop in.
Oh no, it's brilliant. We've been talking about it, so it was nice to set that up.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you've got sirens then, right?
So, sorry, we had background noise.
Sorry, you've got sirens then.
Yes,
Yay.
it sounds good.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Good.
We've had a few listens.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Thank
Sorry.
you very much.
There's going to be some background noise, so I'll mute again.
All right then, no bother.
Lovely to see you all and hear Tony as well.
We can hear you heckling.
Oh, how lovely.
Brilliant. Oh, that's good. Have we had any more questions? Let's go back to the thing.
One that I don't quite understand, I think it was a joke.
Oh, we've got. Do you know more about Dragonfly? Can't find you on MySpace. Basically, MySpace died. Yeah.
Yes.
I will definitely take it out.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
And who would you like to tour with? And do you keep in touch with any of them?
What was that, Phil? Sorry?
Who are the favourite bands that you've toured with or they've supported you? And do you keep in touch with any of them? And who would you like to support or
We keep in touch with Blackmore's Night, don't we?
Yeah. In fact, actually, that post sort of triggered a little flurry of chat with Candice. I mean, back when we were touring with them, Candice and I were both huge fans of Stevie Nicks. So there was always lots of, talking about favourite albums. And when we first got back to the UK after the first tour we did over there with them, Candice very kindly sent me a care package full of old newspaper and magazine cuttings of Stevie Nicks that she'd collected over the years and little rarities, things like that. And there was also a gorgeous pack of Sulamith Wolfing oracle cards in there as well that I've still got. I had them out the other day as well. My kids like to go and pull some cards sometimes. Just lovely little affirmation cards. And Sulamith Wolfing is Stevie Nicks' favourite illustrator, and she actually does a lot of illustrations herself, and they're very much inspired by Sulamith Wolfing's artwork, her drawings. And yeah, we used to exchange Christmas cards for a long time, and so that kind of seems to have gone more and more out of fashion.
We still send them. I'm not sure if we got one this year. Maybe we usually get it. They usually get theirs mid-January, and we usually get one mid-February, because we're all a bit busy in December, so that tends to not be quite as on the ball. Yeah, and we kept in touch with Uncle Trevor for quite a while after we toured with Uriah Heep, didn't we?
Yeah, Trevor used to come and play. Hello, Howard Rankin.
Hey.
Please join us in Zoom, Howie, if you want to come and say hello.
Join us. Look through the comments to find the link.
Right here. Yeah, we do still. I don't know if that worked actually. We do still keep in touch with the Heep chaps, and yeah, Trevor would come over to the. What can't we think of the Spring Head in Hull, and he used to come and join us and play there with us sometimes. We did Spiders from Mars with him and Heroes. I even think he joined us for songs like Caught in a Fold. And Phil Lanson, I had a bit of chat with him recently about artwork as well, another artist. And Mick pops up now and then. Actually, I think I saw Mick made a lovely comment on our Christmas post. Who else have we toured with?
Yeah, Mick, my husband kept in touch with Mick because they're both Spurs fans. It's football and music are great bonding forces.
Happy days. Howard says my watcher. Actually, that's I just found out today. You might already know people if you've seen it somewhere. I've not really done a lot of social media over Christmas, but Howie has actually sold all of the books.
Yeah,
they're all now sold out. So thank you so much for everybody who supported Howie's Warmth of the Soul first photography book. They've all now been sold, so that's brilliant. So all of those proceeds get split down the middle and shared between the two charities. So thanks, everybody.
That's brilliant. Got a question, Heather, from Steve Armitage. What's your most treasured autograph from a famous musician?
Most treasured autograph? Yikes. I don't know if, well, a special one I can think of is, I'll just say that before it disappears again. The chat's been a bit strange. Howie raised about £1,500 for the charity, so that's amazing. 1,460, fabulous. Well done, congratulations, Howie. I once asked Roy Harper to sign his amazing photography and lyric book a few years ago, and I think that was at a show in Fibbers. It's a really beautiful book, and I really admire Roy Harper, incredible lyricist, amazing vocalist, guitarist, and had some gorgeous photography in that particular book. So I can't remember the name of the book now. I don't really think I've got a great deal of things signed, but a really treasured book that I have signed is my Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is signed by my beloved Satguru Nath. That's very special to me. So that's probably one of the most treasured signatures that I can think of, autographs that I can think of.
There's sort of two angles on it, aren't there? There are things that are signed and dedicated to you at the time by the artist, and there's the signed thing. You know, there's a bit of a joke in the Little Apple Bookshop in York that if you can get a book in there that's not signed, it's worth a fortune. And those signatures, they're not like when Heather and I sign something and we actually write our name and scribble and doodle. They're just literally, and they obviously do 1,000 of these things and send them off. And I've got books that are allegedly signed, and you just think that's not a signature. That's just.
Oh, you showed me one, didn't you?
Yes, Tori Amos and somebody else as well. Oh, the one that Scarlett recently bought, that was Waterstones actually, not Little Apple, and that could have been anybody that could have done that, you know. But I think if you're actually like bucking up the courage, like you did with Roy Harper, to go up there and, you know, and say, you know, can you sign this for me? That's a bit of a different thing. I have a signed Hounds of Love album cover, but I wasn't there when it was signed. But it's a lovely thing that, you know, Kate Bush signed it, but I wasn't there. It doesn't say to Angela, love Kate Bush on it, but it's still a lovely thing. But they're two very different things, I think. The experience of getting something signed, and you know, all the signed CDs that we've sent out. If you come and see us at a show, don't think, oh, you know, it's signed. We'll scribble your name on it and sign it again, you know, if you want. Because I just think that it's lovely to have something signed, but it's really lovely to have something dedicated to you as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know, I just think that the more years that pass, I think the less attached to stuff I'm getting. So it's more like the experience of something, you know, or you know, when we can go out and view live music again, or you know, experience events and have experiences together that feel a bit more special. But I've just noticed something. Lovely people of Live Chatsville. It's 5 to 8. We have chatted and chatted this evening. Which brings us to surely the fact that we have an announcement to make this evening, and it's really exciting. And what it is that tomorrow there will be a single from the album released, none other than a radio edit of the amazing Driving by Mrs. Gordon. and that will be available everywhere on streaming services and download sites from tomorrow. So please stay tuned, take a look at that. There's more surprises related to that we're really excited about, and they will come over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, stay tuned and check out the streaming services tomorrow. Hopefully we should have like a link from our distributors by the morning, and we can pop that on the site and you can easily find your way to the song to check it out. So yeah, thank you very, very much for joining us this evening.
Yeah.
Oh, Howard is saying driving is so beautiful. A bit like Georgia asking you first asking you to set,
Yeah, I saw
an
that.
MA set list. Yeah, again, like when you ask an artist to sign something for you, you know, you can sort of really, like, that connection between you and them can evolve in a moment, you know, like, as most of you know, like Georgia's my best friend ever, and you know, all started in that moment of her asking me to sign something. So yeah, yeah, special moments.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay.
Did we forget anything, Angie?
I don't think so.
I think we mentioned most things, and thank you very much, Phil and Thor and Sarah and Jan, for being brave enough to join us on screen. Are you? Oh, somebody else is Sharon! Yay!
Yay!
Are you all happy for us to keep this on Facebook and for us to share it on YouTube as well as usual? Everybody all right with that? Yay! Yeah. Thank you for being such great sports. Really, really lovely to see you all. We've got Sharon joining us here, so let's.
We've just got a minute.
Look, it's not an accidental join.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I didn't mean to click the link.
Okay, but, well, we'll maybe get. Oh, there she is. Hey,
yes,
hello.
Sharon, Kevin, hello.
Just dropped in for the last minute.
Excellent. Ta-da.
No sound though. Oh, we'll maybe have to get you up for the next one, Sharon. Get you on a bit earlier.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank
fantastic.
you very much. Yeah, we'll be posting when our next live chat is soon. The date isn't springing to mind right now, but it's probably before the 21st when we've got the show. That fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Everybody's well enough and everything's all right. It'll be going ahead.
Brilliant.
Lovely to see you all. Take care and
same to you, darling.
Happy 2022.
Yeah. Bye everyone.
Bye everybody.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.